Hi, friends. So it's time for this week's Oracle. You may or may not have noticed I did not do an Oracle last week. I try really hard. It's part of my own practice to do these once a week and to share it with you because I find benefit from it. So I like to share that. And last weekend we took the kids for a little excursion out in nature again. And so I didn't get to do it, but I was sure curious, thinking about I wonder what this week's card would have been, because for me it's just a time to pause and just bring more intention into my life. And sometimes those cards are super necessary, or maybe they just really align with kind of what's going on in my life. That seems to be the case. And sometimes I would encourage you all to maybe pay attention to the messages, maybe for this or maybe from other things, that really they stir something inside of you. And if you pay attention, there's probably other signs that are pointing to the same thing, or it's the same message, maybe in different ways. And that's important. It's important to listen and to be watching for those and to not dismiss them. And if you find yourself wanting to dismiss them, explore what that's about, because a lot of times it's fear. Fear's getting in the way of you listening to that intuition, to those gut level feelings that kind of start vibrating, or you just feel something inside, and that's truth. So a lot of times it's truth, and we need to follow that. Speaking of which, this week's Oracle card is all about that. I pulled from the Work Your Light Oracle deck, and the card was Birthing a New Age. So underneath it says, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Okay, so when this card's pulled, it's really asking us to pay attention to those things, those little nudges that we feel about creating something. Maybe it's creation in some way. And we think of that like a chakra system. It's into that sacral chakra, that birthing. And it doesn't have to be actual birth. It can be ideas. It can be just using your voice, your throat chakra, to get your passions, your whatever it might be. It can be so many different things. But you know what it is. You have this inclination of something, and now is the time. So there's different things. There's different stories. There's different obstacles that can get in the way. And this card's helping you break through them. So sometimes we might say or really the path that is meant for us is often the one that we don't feel prepared for. That it's easy for us to think that it's too big for us. These feelings are too big, or I'm not ready. They might be just super wild or eccentric, or no one else is doing something like that. Or maybe you feel like everybody's doing something like that. So you have these different things, but we have to do them anyway. If you have those callings and you have these inclinations about something that wants to come out, now is the time, because we're birthing a new age. And so it's really asking us to do those things that scare us the most, to be courageous and to do it anyway, because we're in a period of transitions between the age. The cycle is ending and we're coming into a new cycle. And so we have to allow the old to fall away so that the new can be birthed into it. So that's at the micro or macro level, because we can see that what's going on in the world, but also in the micro level. It starts with us. So what do we have to let go of, to release? What old patterns, old stories, old labels that we have or we assign to ourselves, or we allow other people to assign to us? What are those things that we feel compelled to stick with, but really aren't aligned with our gut feeling, this knowing that there's something more? And so we have to be willing to step forward and trust the process, not knowing, just trusting that when you step forward, if you're driving in the fog, just knowing the road will eventually show up before you. That's a leap of faith, right? And so we have to be able to do that, because there's all of these different theories, I guess, that right now a lot of I call, and other people call, light workers were incarnated into this time during this, or at this moment, for a specific reason. That there's this mindset, or this idea that a lot of like people before us who were very much firm and like masculine, feminine energy, they were very whole and complete and came here to really fight for Mother Earth, to fight for humanity, those sorts of things, that their energies are almost like being fueled into a lot of people who are having these like massive awakenings right now, or just like, whoa, like the shakeup that's happening, and it's confusing, but yet we, in that confusion, like we still have to step forward. So you're here for a reason, and we're birthing this new age. So then all of you, and I'm assuming a lot of you who are, if you're watching this and you still haven't stopped watching it because you think I'm a wacko, then I'm probably talking to you because you get it. You feel it. You can feel like there's something more. You can feel that, like the idea of what we were taught growing up about getting a good job and working and getting a paycheck and X, Y, all of that, that's very linear way of living isn't for you. And so, you can feel the stirring that there's something more. And so here you are, and that stirring is real and it needs to be explored. And that's what this card is all about. It's honoring that, because none of us want to get to the end of our lives and wonder what if, or see like the world crumbling around us and know that we weren't able to participate and to use our gifts that you were sent here, that you have, everyone unique, wonderful gifts, and you didn't really let them shine. So you need to let them shine. And that's what this card is. And so I'm going to leave you with this little activation kind of prayer or mantra or whatever, however you want to call it. And it's, I am open to surrendering to the creations that are wanting to be birthed through me. May I be of service in a way that delights my mind, body, and soul. Please use me. Please lead me. Please show me the way. Enjoy.